Just reinforcing some of the things that have kind of given us some trouble the last couple of games. I think it's our first real practice in 2 weeks. So just to get back in the gym, keep it light. Schedule's been crazy. We got back at 4 a.m. the other day, and we touched on Houston, talked about how well they're playing, 3-2 in their last 5, and went over some of their plays and concepts in preparation for tomorrow night.
Do you have an update on Michael and Bones, anybody else?
So Bones was in the building today. Tried to go through a little bit of practice. Still not feeling great. Michael did not practice today, and I probably questionable, doubtful for tomorrow night.
Did that heel injury happen in that Pistons game?
No, honestly, I think it's been something that's kind of been building. Those are really tough. We dealt with Mason Plumlee a few years ago. Obviously, when you play, you're going to be hitting your heel over and over and over again. So right now, it's just real painful for Michael. So he'll come back and he'll play when he feels like he's able to go out there and do his job effectively. But today, that wasn't the case. And for tomorrow night, once again, right now, I would say it's going to be probably very questionable that he plays.
And Jeff as well, sorry.
Jeff was out today, and I think Jeff will also be out tomorrow.
I think this last game they put a big on Aaron Gordon. You guys were able to use him then just as a screen and roller. Evaluate how he did with that, and also is this something he's grown at, being able to switch into that spot and play it more effectively over time with Denver?
Yeah, well, first off, I think Aaron is playing extremely high level. Somebody told me right now, I think he's the second player in NBA history to shoot over 60% from the field in 10 straight games. And so he's doing it from the 3. He's doing it around the basket. The Clipper game, I thought his effort on the offensive glass was outstanding. And as you mentioned, they were hiding Zubac, keeping him off Nicole. They put him on different guys. And when he was on Aaron, Aaron is a guy that his versatility is something that we loved about him when we first traded for him a couple years ago. He can handle the ball. He can play power forward. He can play small forward. And he can be a screen and roll guy. He is a dynamic roller and finisher. So I'm just thrilled with how well he's playing on both ends of the floor and how he hasn't fought the fact that, okay, we got all these other guys. He's just taking what the game gives him. And whether that's knocking down threes, being around the basket, finishing at a high clip, being a screen and roll guy, or a guy that just we post up and works a dunker. He hasn't fought it, he's embraced it, and he's playing at a high level.
Have you noticed any changes? You mentioned Aaron's three-point shooting he played. You notice any changes from that shooting slump he was in at the start of the season? Or is he just kind of maybe streaky?
Well, the thing I noticed is that it's going in. I mean, I know early on, I think he was 1 for whatever at the start of the season. But I think he's taking good threes. He's in a rhythm. He's got confidence. He was in here early today working on his game. He's staying late, as you can see, working on his game. So I think the repetition of it all is giving him confidence. So you have to give Aaron a lot of credit for staying with it. But I think what also helps, Vinny, is when you are getting so many high percentage looks around the basket, tip and layups, dunks, that gives you confidence. Now that hoop is a little bit bigger, and obviously he's shooting into a big one right now.
Is there a thing in basketball? Can there ever be a thing where you're too unselfish? Like, can Nicole ever be too unselfish? And do you ever say anything to him like, "Hey, you're being too unselfish"?
No, I trust Nicole. I think he's proven over 8 years that he's going to make the right play time and time again. Against Oklahoma City the other night, he came out very aggressive. We were down a lot of our scores. He set the tone right away. But as that game goes along and you're getting double teamed every time, Nicole is going to make the right read. I trust Nikola. He knows how to play the game. He knows when he needs to be aggressive and score for us. But the beauty of having a player with his unselfishness and IQ is just trust him to make the right play over and over and over again. And I think as a back-to-back MVP, he's done that better than most.
Ish was saying that maybe there might be some back-to-back MVP fatigue, why people are not giving as much buzz to him. Do you see that? I mean, does it
not giving as much buzz?
Yeah. Does it look like new? I know you don't.
I don't really care about buzz. I don't think Nikola cares about buzz. We're winning. I mean, we're in a very jumbled Western Conference right now. You can see we played the fewest home games in the NBA. We're up there in terms of games missed due to injury, starting lineups, the number that we've used. with all that being said, here we are. So I don't worry about the MVP buzz. If we continue to win, Nicola's going to be in the MVP conversation because of the fact that he impacts the game at so many different levels. We've added players. We've brought back guys in Jamal and Michael who are scorers. He had to do more for us last year. I think it's great where Nikola doesn't have to carry the whole team on his back every single night. That really kind of wears you down. And if you want to make a deep playoff run, hopefully him not having that tremendous burden every night will maybe allow him to be even more effective in the postseason.
Michael, do you think that not having your full complement of guys the last week and yet still being able to string together a few wins, do you feel like that can have a galvanizing effect on the group as a whole?
I mean, that's who we've been. It's not just this year. It's, last year we were without 2 max players and we won 48 games. And some people thought we underachieved last year, which is comical in my eyes. So I think it's something that we kind of almost pride ourselves upon, Mike, in terms of next man up mentality, right? We never worry about who's not available. We find a way to challenge each guy to bring the best version of themselves and make no excuses. Like, we never go into a game saying, hey, let's just keep it close. We're without this guy, this guy, and this guy. No, screw that. No, we're trying to win the game no matter who we're playing. So, but I think what it does afford you is, as the season goes along, and now you have a Vlatko Čančar who is playing rotational minutes, like, he feels a lot more confident going out there and doing his job. Ish had missed a bunch of time, but he comes back against the Clippers and plays. So it allows those guys that maybe weren't playing to get comfortable and to get confident out there. And now when called upon throughout the season, you have that many more guys that you trust that can go out there and contribute.
I saw a stat that Jamal crosses half court. It takes him the longest of any player in the NBA to get the ball across half court.
Great stat.
Is that true of this year? It's true of 2021, and it's true of 2020. Is that?
I'm gonna go on a limb. It's gonna be true next year too.
Well, that was my question. Is the Nuggets are great in the half court offensively, so it doesn't seem to have an impact on the offense. Is that a thing though? That stat that you feel is an important one? Or, like, how do you analyze that? What are the ripple effects of it?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't aware of that. Obviously, I know that Jamal is not, a speed burner where he's going to be up the floor. I think our pace of play this year is the highest it's ever been. Our fast break points per game have been really high this year, and their offensive efficiency has been really effective. So I don't put too much stock into it. I really don't. It's one of those where our offense for years now has been a top 5 offense across those years. And obviously Nikola and Jamal are 2 big common denominators within that. Could we get more easy baskets? Could we push the pace more? Sure, but at the same time, I think guys have to play to who they are. But yeah, I don't really put too much into it. I appreciate you sharing the stat.
Thanks, Coach.